All right. Hey everyone, I'm David. This is Tony, and for the past 3 months, we've been working on a game. More specifically, we've been working on what we're working towards is an autonomous, open-world tower defense survival game. And we're calling this game WildWood. This game's built on top of mud and other technologies that have been created at this residency. Our goal was just to put something fun and playable on the EVM that applies these technologies in a way that also has the potential to become like a fully realized world. So you might be asking yourself, what type of people might inhabit this world of WildWood?
So here is Goldie. In the world of WildWood, the only thing keeping him alive is the heart at the center of the map. If he lets monsters destroy the heart, he and the world will die. Goldie needs to spend his gold very carefully to balance the growth of his defenses and his economy. He can place towers that attack, walls that block, and harvesters that produce more gold over time. If he neglects his defenses in the hopes of building up an economic advantage, he will lose. If he overspends on towers, he will lose. And if he never figures out the right place to put his walls, he's also going to lose. In short, we left Goldie with a series of important, interesting decisions to make, what Will Wright calls the heart of a good game. Fortunately, Goldie is not alone in WildWood. He went out and found Greenie and asked him to help. Greenie agreed, and so they go back to Goldie's base and start to get to work. You can see as they start to figure out how they're going to strategize to build their base to protect it from monsters. They can decide who's going to build what type of tower, who's going to build a gold harvester, or who is going to take care of which part of the map. As soon as a player places a gold harvester, monsters will begin to spawn and move towards the heart. If a monster encounters a wall or a tower, they will chew through it because it tastes very delicious. In this case, we can see the monster find the harvester and start to attack it once they get within range. Physics are very important in the world of WildWood. And in this world, some objects can be picked up and put down, but only at the player's current location. Other objects are impassable, like the world heart in the center of the world that cannot be picked up. Monsters, on the other hand, can inhabit the same location, and a good player will learn to attack them in groups. You might be wondering, how do these monsters move by themselves without the player submitting any action to update them? As someone just whispered in the audience, this is the ticking chain. But before we get there, you can see what an early demo of our game looked like. In this version, monsters only move in response to a player moving. So you can see here how it looks much choppier because I move and then the monsters move. It's more of a turn-based game. But we wanted a world that felt alive. And to do that, we used state updates that happen every block using the infrastructure that Lucas built. So you can see here, the monsters have a life of their own that are not controlled by a player action. And we think this gives a very important sense of excitement and real-time energy to the world of WildWood. So, another technical feat we tried to take on is how to make movement feel fun on top of an EVM that usually has updates only once per second. What we do is we submit movements to the chain in batches. So you can see in the top right hand of the screen, we have a log that shows when moves are being submitted. The chain will validate that the player's position and the path they've taken to get there is accurate. And if something is not okay, it will simply revert and the player gets shot back to their previous position. Locally in the client, we can let the player make a bunch of moves very quickly and have an immediate response because we have this verification happening on chain. However, from the perspective of multiplayer, this looks pretty weird. On the left side of the screen, we're seeing what it looks like if you only see a blockchain state update every second or two. And obviously, if we're trying to work together to defend the world heart, it's really confusing to see Greenie just bumping around the screen at random locations. So to solve this problem, on the right, we're using the MUD relay service, which is a peer-to-peer client system that lets us broadcast updates to other members who are playing the game. This allows us to show the local position that's updated much more frequently to everyone in the world, and we think gives a crucial sense of liveliness that lets people feel like they're actively playing together. So when you put all these pieces together, the movement, the live monsters, building, and towers, we think you get something fun and really weird. Here's a time lapse of David and I trying to defend our world heart. We started out by building gold harvesters towards the middle, and then built walls around the edges to protect it. We put towers strategically at the corners as the monsters started to enter, and we split up responsibilities, where I started harvesting and David was responsible for putting towers down. One of the mistakes we made is that we used too much of our space in the middle, and it became really annoying to move around and efficiently harvest our resources, and harder to get out to the edge where the monsters were arriving. Unfortunately, as the monsters got stronger and stronger, our defenses were not quite up to the task of defending our world heart.
Let's experience our final moments together. And wait. And it's gone. All right. So we've actually already been having fun playing WildWood, and we're actually excited to have a playable game that can be shared with others. What you're seeing in front of you right now is actually a playtest we did with Fraser and Flynn earlier today. Basically, like, our near-term plans are to continue polishing the world, the game, to add depth and color to this world. In the longer term, we hope to make the game more easily moddable so that players can add their own depth and balance to the game. And because it runs on a set of extremely basic physics that are consistently applied over the entire world, it becomes actually possible for anyone, even non-developers, to participate in the creation of the world. In fact, a possible future might look like many WildWoods, competing for attention and attracting players from their own merit. So this is WildWood. It's going to come out next year sometime. If you want to join Discord, it's there, emergence.land. Yeah, WildWood is a world that we've already enjoyed being in, and we hope that you will too.